Welcome to Gaikoku Gamers. I'm Darryl Benson, and I'm here joined by Mario and Sonic. They used to fight, but now they kind of sit on the same couch. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk today about Amiibos. Amiibos are those little figurines for the Wii U and for the 3DS. With a new 3DS at least, you will be able to go ahead and place it on top of the lower touchscreen and it'll automatically boot up your guy right on the screen. Now there's supposedly going to be a separate attachment for the old 3DS, but actually it's looking like that might not be the case, but that's not the news. What I'd really like to talk about is what exactly is Nintendo's endgame here. You see, Amiibos are hot. Really hot. Everybody wants them. And they're selling like crazy. The unfortunate thing though is that Nintendo's not the one making the money. They make so few of these, and they're sold out so quickly, pretty much as soon as they're put up, that there's really no way for anyone to go ahead and be able to get these. And most people who are getting these are buying them in bulk. They're getting the whole lot, the whole box that are being sent to places like GameStop and Amazon, and they're just buying everybody out. And then they put them on eBay for double, triple, even sometimes upwards to 5 times, if not more, the amount of money that the MSRP is, which is only a measly $12.99. Now, this wouldn't be so bad if these things actually did something, and really, frankly, they don't. They really just go ahead and give you things, little simple things like color swaps in Mario Kart, or little skin changes in Hyrule Warriors. Or in the case of Smash Brothers, it gives you a character that you can't even control, that you train, which is kind of confusing. Now, I will say that I almost got suckered into this whole thing, especially when they revealed Captain Falcon, which, as you guys can tell from the artwork that I made above, pixel by pixel, yes, I did that, I kind of like F-Zero, a little bit. It's also kind of our opening music to the show. I love F-Zero. I think it's a great franchise, and I think it's something they need to bring back. Okay, Nintendo. Anyway, so, and as great as it is, not only would I have to go ahead and find one from some reseller, and these are going for roughly $38 shipped, which is a little high given what it does, but I would have to literally go ahead and have to pay double to triple the amount of money for nothing. Nintendo's not making the money. I'm not getting the functionality that I want. I'm not really seeing the purpose. Now, if you just want little Nintendo figurines, they're cool. And for $12.99 for a licensed figure, you're actually not doing too bad. They're pretty detailed, obviously, and there's my cat. Obviously not as detailed as what we originally thought, which we've already had a video about that. But they're pretty detailed, and that's awesome, and that's great. But the functionality isn't there, and Nintendo isn't even making any money on these things, really. And that's the part that really bothers me about Nintendo, is that Nintendo seems to have this problem where whenever they have lightning in a bottle, things that they weren't expecting to be success but are automatically huge successes, they go ahead and they don't produce enough. On top of that, communication has been crap. We don't know anything. We don't know if they're going to be remaking half of these things in the future or not. And then we had some minor offbeat comment about, well, maybe we'll make like Amiibo cards that'll take place of the action figures that you can't buy any longer. Which is really confusing, because I thought the whole point is that you had a toy. You see, Skylanders and even Disney Infinity did this better. They gave you levels, they gave you characters, whole maps to go ahead and play around with. You were buying a toy that became a toy. Now, in a way, maybe this is a good thing, you know, because you don't have to buy toys to get DLC, but at the same time, the toys need to have a purpose. And most importantly, Nintendo right now is not doing very well. They're losing money hand over fist, especially when it comes to the Wii U. This could really help the system. but they're simply not making enough of these things to make any decent amount of money on them. And what's really sad is that you see these things go for all this money. There's obviously well more demand. Oh, my cat. There's obviously well more demand than there is supply, and they don't seem to be addressing this. And the same thing happened with the original Wii. The original Wii, even a year after its release, you couldn't find them in stores. They were impossible to find. It was almost like they didn't want to make them. And then ironically enough, as soon as they had stock, no one seemed to give a damn anymore because the fad was over. My point is, Nintendo seems to make really awesome products that are successful sometimes for a very short amount of time. If, and this is a big if, these Amiibos are not as popular as they are now in, say, 2 years, you make money while the money is coming in. That means you need to be able to open up new factories, whatever you gotta do, and make more of these figures. And frankly, stop making new ones and just produce the old ones so that everyone has enough. Now, if you want to make a couple of them exclusive, hey, that's great. Make them in low numbers and make it known ahead of time, but you're not communicating with your customer base. No one even knew before these things came out that they're going to be rare and that they're going to be of limited production. They just released the first wave, they kind of sold, and then they basically said, oh yeah, by the way, those things, yeah, that's it. So then you had stupid characters like the Wii Fit Trainer, which all of a sudden went from literally worthless and rotting on the shelves to completely impossible to find because they made such a short amount of stock for them, thinking that no one would care about them, and then everybody gobbled them up, and now you can't even find one if you want one. And the sad thing now is that since people don't know which ones are going to be rare, every single one is selling out now. On GameStop.com today, all the new wave of figures went ahead and sold out already except for Toon Link, and I'm sure that that's already gone by now. On PlayAsia, they're already gone. All of them. Gone. These things are pre-orders, for God's sakes, and people are already selling the figurine, even though they don't even have it in hand, for double or triple the money on eBay. Make more, Nintendo. You can't sell out of these things before they hit the shelves. In fact, reports are coming in that these things are actually the pre-orders are being returned to people, and this is going at Best Buy and GameStop. These pre-orders are being returned to people because these stores realize they don't even have enough to fill the pre-order amount. This is ridiculous, and it needs a change. And frankly, you know what? If you have a successful product, utilize this. Make it great. And frankly, with the new 3DS not having that many features that really set it apart from the previous one, except for things like Amiibo, you need to have Amiibo accessible to everyone and not just collectors. And before people butt in and say, oh, well, it's a collectible, blah, 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 it should be able to be a collectible. Nintendo is a kids company, people. Just because you're 40 and you're a collector doesn't mean that children's toys should not be accessible to all children. Now, I understand this is inherent in every single type of toy release, but when every figure that's coming out is rare instead of just one per box, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Any figure like Star Wars, Tron, Hercules, anything you want to go ahead and pick out, there's always one or maybe two figures per box that were rare. One or two figures that they only put one or two in the box, and with a sea of crapload of other ones for you to pick out. There's always one Princess Leia and 18 C-3POs, and that's how it should be with this. If you want to make some rare, make some rare. Just go ahead and ship more of the other ones so that people have something to play with. And anyway, in further news, I'm actually getting a new 3DS, and I'm really excited about that, and I will go ahead and have the review here as soon as it comes in from Hong Kong. Until then, I really, really hope that you've enjoyed the new game room here. I think it's really cool. I love the PlayStation 1, the Dreamcast, and the N64 all sitting together underneath my Jegs, or Zegs, or however you pronounce this thing that's really freaking awesome. It's the 8-bit XEGS Atari computer, and it's freaking awesome. And I got a whole bunch of games, and I won't say them right now, I almost did. I'm going to have a whole bunch of games. I'm going to be reviewing it here soon. The system is fantastic. The setup is fantastic, and I finally feel home, and I hope you guys do too. I'm Darryl Benson. This has been another Bite-Sized episode. We'll see you guys next time.